Alright, Lally Ho controller users, I got you. I got you. I should have had you guys like 2-3 weeks ago, but I've been so busy. So much overtime at work. I work at Amazon, and we just got done with Prime Week. So yeah, I was working like basically all of that week. It was fun. It was great. That was when Eden Normal came out. I was so tired. It was fun. But yeah, I've been working just so much overtime these past couple of months altogether, which is it's been a very interesting expansion launch because I've just been so tired. Not a whole lot of energy, which doesn't translate very well into recording or streaming, so that's why there hasn't been a whole lot of that lately. But overtime is finally ending. Fingers crossed that it stays that way for quite a while, and I can finally have more time and energy to do those things. So, first video up on the to-do list is this one, the controller hotbars, because a surprising amount of people really want to see these. So yeah, okay, sure, that's fine. You guys want to see hotbars? That's cool. We're only going to be checking out hotbars on these 17 jobs. Yes, there's only 17. Blue Mage doesn't count. Square Enix forgot about Blue Mage even, so just like we can forget about Blue Mage too. I know a lot of people want to see crafters and gatherer hotbars. Honestly, I want to see those too because I have not gathered or crafted at all this expansion really, so I have not updated those, and that is something I need to get into. But we're only going to be checking out these 17 jobs. I have gone through and kind of worked out where I want things placed. Some things are definitely more solid than others. A lot of the jobs I've been playing, I've kind of solidified where I like the placements of things. Other jobs I haven't really dabbled with much, kind of more subject to change, but they are, I have them placed, and it intuitively seems like I'd like where they're placed, so we'll kind of see when we get there. If you'd like to skip to a certain job, I'll make timestamps in the description and comment section. Because this first part is going to be going over kind of some more basic controller hotbar things in case you haven't watched a video like this before that I've done in previous expansions, because I get a lot of questions about my hotbar setup and I just kind of want to get those done and out of the way. So that's what we're going to be tackling first, and then we'll head into the jobs. Again, check the job description, check the description or the comment section if you want to jump to a certain job. But let's first talk about my hotbar settings in general, because there's quite a things to kind of discuss. So the first thing I guess I should really talk about is probably the fact that yes, I'm on controller, and I only use the controller. I never touch the mouse or keyboard. Well, that's a lie. I touch the mouse whenever I want to click on this or this, which is clear log, which will clear my log. You can't see my log, so it doesn't even, you wouldn't be able to see if I do this. But I only really use my mouse to click on these two things. Essentially everything else here I use the controller or is just there for reference. So yeah, don't ever use the mouse, don't ever use my keyboard. That's just kind of throwing that out there. I'm using only my controller. So yeah, so as I said, this horizontal hotbar you'll see on just about everything is only here for reference. I don't click any keys. I don't use my mouse to click anything. It's only here for reference to see cooldown timers, or maybe like high priority skills or abilities or something that I just want extra visibility on. Like for instance right here, Saber Dance. I want extra visibility on this so I can see it. It's procced right here. It's up here, and I can also see that when my gauge hits 50, it'll also light up as well. So that's kind of what this hotbar is for as well. And it's worth noting that you can have this on PS4 as well. I've played on PS4 for a long time, and I had this hotbar there the entire time that I played on PS4. It's very simple. All you have to do in order to do this is go into your HUD settings, or HUD layout rather. Find the horizontal hotbar you want to use. In my case, I believe it's hotbar 3, and then just click hide or display it. If you want to use it, obviously make sure it's displayed. If it's hidden, it will have like a little purple text, I guess, and then display it. I'm not going to save because I want to keep it placed. And then if you'd like to keep it so that it is specific for each job, and I'm getting a little more acquainted with this, you have to go into your shared settings and then this is where you'll click whether or not hotbars are shared or not shared. If you want it shared, then you want to make sure that it is clicked. For instance, these hotbars right here. What hotbar is this? Hotbar 7 and 8. These are shared hotbars, meaning that no matter what job I'm on, they'll always be exactly the same. But and yeah, you can see there 7 and 8 clicked as shared hotbars. If I were to unclick this, then I'd have to set it up for individually for each and every job and class, and that would just be a pain, because these are just basic reference things or basic things that I would want to use on any job or any class essentially. But hotbar 5, obviously, hotbar 3, obviously, I don't want that to be shared, because I want that specific for each and every job, so don't have that clicked. So yeah, that's how that's set up. It's really simple, really easy. It's not something you need to be on PC to do. You can do it if you're on PC or PS4. Back in the day, back when PS3 was still playing, was still kicking around, you couldn't do this on PS3, but we haven't had to worry about that for quite some time. So yeah, no matter what platform you're playing on, PS4 or PC, that's totally an option that is available to you. And that's how I use it. I use it strictly for reference and nothing else. Now when it comes to the cross hotbar, my general use of it is that I have 4 cross hotbars that I have for each job, and then I have a bunch of shared hotbars that's kind of more generalized. These are my shared hotbars here. This is very simple stuff, you know, got some minions, got some chocobo stances, beckon for whenever I do beckon leaves, which haven't had to do for a long time, so I don't even know why it's there. Also, you can use it to get certain minions on your shoulder as well. Squadron battle manuals, you know, summon chocobo, and then party finder, shared fate menu, challenge log, stuff like that. So just very basic stuff that's useful to access on any job. Emotes, markers, and then this is blank because I don't have anything I want to put there. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are basically what I use for each job. 1 and 2 are basically my main hotbars. This is where I'll keep most of my skills and abilities and spells, and these are what I will cycle to, and I have it set in my settings. Cross hotbar, I have it set in my settings so that I can just switch to it by pressing what's this, right bumper or R1, I guess, since I'm using a DualShock 4 controller. So very simply, I can just press this over and over again. It only switches between these two. In this case, on Dancer in particular, where there isn't a whole lot of buttons to press, there's only one difference between Devilment and my Interrupt. But on other jobs, you'll notice that there's a much bigger difference depending on how many more buttons there are on a job. Generally speaking, I have most of the stuff that I need on my first hotbar. My second hotbar is usually where I keep sometimes AoE. Rotation is sometimes on this second hotbar. Also keep defensive cooldowns and stuff on this for tanks. Also for DPS, have things like Bloodbath or maybe Faint on this hotbar. So you'll kind of see that as we kind of go along, I guess. Another thing to kind of make note of is that there's 2 ways you can really get some more bang out of your buck for your cross hotbar. And I prefer to use the expanded controls, although you can also use the double cross hotbar, or you can even opt to use both if you want to use both, although I think that's a little overkill, but you can if you want to. And with the expanded controls, these simply, depending on the sequence in which you press your triggers, will bring up a different menu altogether. So I have it so that my expanded hotbar is actually hotbar 4, and you'll notice that both the left and the right side are exactly the same, because I feel like I only ever need 8 buttons for this. And if you feel like you want all 16 buttons, you can set it up so that whether or not you press left or right first and then press the other one, it'll bring up the different menus. So for instance, for let's see, for demonstration purposes, we'll put a 1 here and we'll put a 2 here. So if I were to press left first and then or if I were to press left first and then right, it brings up 1, which is the left side. If I were to press right and then left, it brings up 2, which is the right side. So you can have that changed so that it is like that, but personally I don't ever feel like I need more than 8 buttons on this cross hotbar. And plus, when you're in the heat of moment, you might accidentally you know, press the wrong sequence and then you get the wrong set of buttons and you press something you didn't mean to. So yeah, I don't know, I just not a huge fan of that. Now the other kind of cross hotbar thing you can use is the double cross hotbar, and it's very similar to the expanded controls. It's simply double tapping left or right trigger essentially, or L2 or R2, since I am again on a DualShock 4 controller. I personally don't use this because I don't need it. I already have enough space, and I'm already used to using expanded controls because I've been using that since that this feature was released. I don't even know if, I think this was just in the game from the start. I don't actually remember. But for as long as I can remember, I've been using expanded controls. They added the double cross hotbar quite a bit ago. I think a couple years ago back at this point. Some people really like using it. I'm not a huge fan. I just prefer the expanded controls. Again, it's just double tapping and it'll bring it up. And yeah, just like that. Or I can do this and it brings up that. I don't have it enabled, obviously, so I don't particularly like to use that. But if you want to use that, that is also an option available to you. Do whatever is most comfortable for you, and that's just kind of some extra things to kind of get more space out of your cross hotbars without having to cycle through like a bunch of hotbars all at once, which you can do if you're more comfortable with just doing that rather than using expanded or double cross hotbar. Then that's totally up to you. But yeah, I think we kind of covered all of the sort of basic things that I'm sure I'll get questions about. This horizontal hotbar thing is just, I don't know, I get so many questions about this all the time. It's just here for reference. I don't click anything. There's no keys I press or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. That's what that is there for. But actually, I'm gonna go ahead and find, where is this? Display hotbar help. So I'm gonna put on display hotbar help. What this does is, I usually have this turned off, but what this does is if you have it clicked on, it'll show the names of all of the skills and abilities when you actually hold down the button. Obviously I don't need this because I've kind of memorized what all the icons and all the abilities look like at this point. But for reference points, in order for you to kind of see what each skill is, in case you haven't memorized those yet, I'll just have those on for the purposes of this video, and you can kind of copy them down. So we're going to start with Dancer first, because that is what I am hoping to be maining, but I don't know, I'm kind of juggling all of the ranged DPS right now, so and I'm having fun on all three, so yeah, we'll see. I don't know, maybe I'll just play all three, and we'll be good there. But there you go. So Dancer's hotbars are actually very simple, like I said. A lot of it has to do with the fact that there isn't actually a whole lot of buttons to press on Dancer. There's a lot of consolidation with how your single target abilities turn into your dance steps when you press your dances. The fact that this is kind of consolidated like this makes it fitting everything on Dancer really, really nice. So and you kind of see I've kind of mirrored my AoE rotation and kind of with my single target one, so it's basically the same thing, just on the left side. And then again, the only differentiation here is having my interrupt instead of devilment. But yeah, head graze, I always forget what that one's called. But yeah, here we go. We're left side, right side. I think I already showed this, but I'll show it again just in case. And then again, the only thing that's different here is that head grace. This for this third hotbar, I kind of forgot to mention this, but this is mostly just for food, potions, mounts, sometimes signs, or sometimes doing like stances. Like I have dance partner or closed position on this hotbar, because you really only need to press it once, and that's it. And then here is expanded hotbar 4. That is what that looks like. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and hover over this real quick, in case you want to see what all of these are. Again, these are just for reference. And since it's a video, you can always feel free to pause it. To pause the video if you need to check things out. One sec. All right, let's move on. Bards next. Alright, here we go. You notice it's very similar to how my Bard setup was before, and in fact a lot of jobs are going to be like that, just kind of changing minor things, replacing skills and abilities that were gone before. This is also wrong, by the way. Quick knock and apex arrow, I switched where those were. And then here is that. Again, nothing particularly special here, just food and stuff. And then we'll go ahead and hover over these as well. Alright, Machinist next. Machinist hotbars changed a lot, oh boy, because Machinist changed a lot. And I'm having a lot of fun on Machinist, oh boy. Can't wait to do my video on all the range DPS. Second hotbar. Pretty sure the right side is exactly the same, but go ahead and show this as well anyway. And then the expanded controls. And then we'll go ahead and hover over these real quick. So I try my best to kind of maintain consistency within roles. As you kind of see, I try to keep things like Tactician, Troubadour, and Shield Samba, which are extremely similar abilities. In fact, they're exactly the same. They're just dramatically different for each job. Try to keep that in the same place. I tried to keep Peloton in the same place, but I needed that spot for Pitch Perfect on Bard, so instead it's on this hotbar in kind of the same spot. So I try my best to kind of keep things consistent across roles, but it doesn't always work out that way depending on whether or not certain jobs need a lot of buttons or not. So yeah. Moving on, we'll check out White Mage, which I'm in the middle of leveling right now. Leveling my healers next so I can do a video on the healers, just like I'm planning to do a video on the range DPS. So be looking forward to that if you are looking forward to it. And I'm still kind of unsure of whether or not I really like Flash's Misery being here, because I feel like I don't actually need it on my main bar, but it's there for now. Alright, nothing special down here. I mean, we have Fluidora, just in case you need that bind. And here are the expanded controls. And then we'll go ahead and hover over these real quick. Rescue actually has a purpose right now in the game. And that's saving people who mess up on Titania EX and get the I don't even know what the debuff is called. The one that makes you roam around like an idiot. Because you can actually save people who get that if they get hit from walking off the edge, which is great. An actual reason to use rescue. Too bad people abuse it anyway and use it in places they shouldn't be. Moving on to Scholar. Second hotbar, very different. Third hotbar, again, this just has some pet actions, placements and stuff like that. Also choosing between Eos and Celine right there, and then expand controls. And then we'll go ahead and hover over these real quick. And I know when the skills are like the tooltips are shown on the left side, you're not seeing that because that's where the chat blocker is. But you don't need to see the tooltip. Astrologian, oh boy, this one's a lot of fun. Oh boy, I can't wait to level this more. I am planning on leveling this pre-job adjustments, by the way. So that'll be fun. I highly suspect Astrologian is going to get some buffs to their healing because they definitely need it. Second hotbars. Third hotbars. I have Nocturnal and Diurnal Sick bound here. I also have Undraw. I don't actually know why, because there's no reason to ever use Undraw. If you ever need to use a card, or if you ever don't want to get a seal from a card, you just use Minor Arcana and get a Lord or Lady and use that instead of using Undraw. Never use Undraw. No reason to. And then here is the expanded controls. Go ahead and hover over these real quick. Horoscope finally has some potency numbers on it, thankfully. Only took them like, what? They released that when Eden Normal came out, I think, so it took them like 2.5 weeks. That was good. Paladin. Had a lot of fun on Paladin. Not very good at tanking cooldowns for dungeons. Really strong for bosses, but dungeons, holy crap, they don't have a whole lot to offer there for trash pulls, unfortunately. At least they can heal themselves. Second hotbar. I'm actually really surprised that Paladin's got to keep shield bash, by the way, since we have access to low blow like all the other tanks. But sure, why not? Shield bash. And down here we have Iron Will, which are tank stance, and also we have the countdown. And then here are expanded controls. And then we'll go ahead and hover over these real quick. Alright, moving on. Gunbreaker. I refuse to level this until they change back the sound effects for Gunbreaker, because the sound effects for Gunbreaker right now are absolutely terrible, and I hate them. So, yeah, I was leveling this, and then I decided to stop because I wasn't having fun with the watered down basic sound effects. So, yeah, please change back the sound effects to what they were, please. I don't know who was complaining about them in the first place for them to change it, but those people are wrong. Change it back. Change it back. This is wrong, by the way. Forgot to put Sonic Break here. I moved my I tend to have my my ranged attack for tanks right here in this spot. I've had it there for like 6 years, but I decided to move that to the expanded hotbars because I feel like you never use those anymore, really. So you use it so occasionally now that I feel like I'd rather have something that I use a lot more often in that spot instead. So I moved those to the expanded controls hotbar section. Down here again, just tank stance, countdown. Then here's the expanded controls. Moving on, we got Warrior. Apparently I changed my glamours at some point. Really good cooldowns on Warrior, by the way. Looks like the right side is exactly the same for Warrior. Actually, had a real problem fitting stuff on my hotbar for warrior. Just like there's so much overlapping on warrior because they're just like I have thrill battle on here like 3 different times because there's actually so little buttons on warrior that I couldn't fit everything, couldn't fill up all the spaces. So yeah, that's a first. And then here's expanded controls. And then we'll hover over these real quick. Actually, I think I forgot to hover over these for Gunbreaker, so we'll go back. And then we'll go back real quick. Hover over these for Gunbreaker. I feel like this is like one of the jobs where I'd actually would need to hover over them because it's a new job. So there's a lot of new icons that people aren't used to seeing yet. Alright, and then we'll move on to Dark Knights. The premier job of Shadowbringers, and that's not doing too hot in my opinion. I think one of the biggest issues with Dark Knight right now is Black as Night eating into your combat efficiency. So I really do think that they should probably remove the MP cost on Black as Night, but who knows? I'm not a tank main, so I don't know. Same deal here. Tank stance, countdown, and then here are the expanded controls. Gonna hover over these real quick. Also, Living Dead still sucks. I hate Living Dead as someone who has been healing for a while, and I still heal quite a bit. Still planning to heal a lot. I hate Living Dead. Kind of wish they'd rework that. But considering that they haven't for the past 4 years, I'm not sure if they ever will. Samurai. This one was a lot of fun. Yeah, so we got kind of some neat little toys on Samurai. I'm really looking forward to leveling this. I just haven't had the time to because I'm planning on leveling it on my alt first. And alt stuff has kind of taken a backseat for the right now. As I just haven't had much time to play. So nothing really back here. I just have NP deck here just because I barely use it, and I want it somewhere that I can access it, but I barely use it, so it's just back here. I didn't have a good spot to put it, so that's why it's kind of on this hotbar. And then here are the expanded controls. Alright, taking a look at these real quick. Got Iajitsu and Tsubame. Alright, let's move on. What's next? I thought it was Monk next. Dragoon. So, yeah, my bars changed quite significantly on Dragoon. A lot of that had to do with the the removal of Impulse Drive, which left me able to kind of rework my hotbars in a way that's very similar to what I've had before for other jobs. Yeah, that's why. Traditionally, I had my my KS thrust combo on the left side, but now I can just kind of fit all of my combos on the right side, which feels really nice. And obviously some of these jobs which I haven't leveled high enough yet, some of these abilities will change. Obviously, like jump will upgrade to high jump and stuff like that. So I mean, just you should be able to figure it out. Hopefully, in that case, obviously. Can't really do much, not much about that until we actually get everything leveled. So, oh look, my retainers are heading back. Nothing here on that hotbar, and here is the expanded controls. One of the few jobs where I've actually decided to put the entire AoE rotation onto the expanded controls, but there was nowhere to put it on Dragoon because there's just so many abilities that I had to put here instead, rather than keeping it all on my my normal hotbars. So yeah, hover over these real quick. Got elusive jump. I'm actually really surprised elusive jump is still in the game, but it is useful for closing gaps if you actually use it properly and don't go in the wrong direction. Alright, moving on to Ninja. Yeah, oh boy, Ninja. What a job right now. Oh boy. Ninja is a very, very chaotic mess right now. There's a lot to keep track of on Ninja. I haven't even filled up my hotbars, as you can see on Ninja. It's just I don't know what to put there. So I'll have to find spaces to put there. So obviously there's nothing to put there. Then yeah, there's a couple of macros that I'll explain here in a bit as well for Ninja. But let me hover over these real quick first. Alright, so let's explain the two macros I have. The first macro is hide macro. What this does is essentially lets me hide, and then I can use the exact same button to unhide. And that macro looks like this. All of my macros, by the way, got where is my hide macro? Oh, it's in shared. All of my macros, by the way, are gone. They were on my first PC, and I didn't transfer over all my macros with me, so I had all the macros that I've kind of made over the years are gone, and I'll have to remake them again. But that's what that macro looks like, in case you want it for yourself. The other macro I have is this macro, which is just, it puts dream within a dream and assassinate on the same button. Revolutionary, I know. For some odd reason, by the way, I don't know why, but in order to use Assassinate, which is just a 200 potency ability, you have to use Dream Within a Dream first, which grants Assassinate Ready, which lets you use Assassinate. And I don't get it. It's just like, I don't understand why you couldn't just put 200 potency onto Dream Within a Dream and get rid of Assassinate altogether. But yeah, what this essentially does is it allows you to press the same button. So I'll use Dream Within a Dream between one global cooldown, get Assassinate ready, and then on the following cooldown I'll just use our Assassinate. And because Assassinate has such a short cooldown and is always going to be up whenever Dream Within a Dream is up, I don't need to see Assassinate on my hotbar ever anymore. So yeah, that's why that is there. Moving on to Monk. This is the real mess of a job. I don't even know what to think about Monk, honestly. But yeah, this is Monk right now. It's very odd. I'm not entirely sure how Monk's playstyle is right now. There's a lot of really weird abilities and skills that it just feels like it just clashes so much with what Monk used to be, which is very fast-paced, consistent damage. And now there's so many abilities that just want to take away your Grease Lightning stats or lower your GCD, and it's just man, I don't know what they did to Monk anymore. I used to have so much fun on Monk. Now I don't know anymore. I don't know what they're doing with Monk anymore. But there we go. Those are the hotbars for Monk. I'll have to level Monk to see if I actually like it anymore or not. But that's very low on my priority list right now. Mantra, though, is still very, very good, by the way. Increases HP recover via healing action, so that affects both abilities and spells, and it affects the whole party. 20%, 90 seconds. I mean, hell, Bard's Nature's Min has the same cooldown, and it's for single target. It also affects abilities as well, but Mantra, man, my god, that's really good. And there's barely any monks playing right now to even make utilize that awesome ability for healers. And trust me, healers need all the help they can get when it comes to increased healing potencies, because Convalescence is gone, Largesse is gone, feels bad. Alright. Nearing the end, finally. 3 more jobs to go. Black Mage. Oh boy. I had a lot of fun making my hotbars for Black Mage because I couldn't remember what my hotbars were on my other character, but I just threw this together. So yeah. Freeze actually has a place now. Finally. took him a while, but Freeze, after 6 years, finally useful. I'm so excited that Freeze actually has a place now. And it's not like that really weird where you place it down. It's just it's a targeted spell now as well, which is really nice. I'm actually looking forward to playing Black Mage and seeing how I like it. It's essentially, it's very similar to how Black Mage plays back in Stormblood. I imagine there's just some rotational differences in kind of how you do things. And also the 10k MP actually affected Black Mages the most, I feel, because just how their spells kind of fit into that. So yeah, really looking forward to how that plays out. I really wish, by the way, that they had given us the trait that makes it so that casting the opposite element costed no MP at level 70 to kind of coincide with the change to MP being capped at 10k. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about how Black Mage feels before getting that trait, so yeah, hopefully it's not too bad getting it to 72. Hopped over to Red Mage. I think I forgot to hover over my abilities on Black Mage again. I don't know, I keep forgetting to do that. A lot of things about Red Mage kind of opened up a lot of spots to kind of fill up, by the way. Is one, we had Verholy and Verflare kind of consolidated, which was a nice change. I don't mind that change. We also got two new AoE options, so now we're not just spamming what was it? Scatter. We weren't just spamming Scatter over and over again for AoE. So now we have Ver Thunder and Ver Arrow 2, which then chains into Impact, which is why I moved Impact over here. Normally it was over here, and I switched it with Vercure. Just that way, just because I have all of my AoE on this, just pressing this left trigger, and I don't have to constantly switch triggers, which would feel very, very weird. Especially with Red Mage being dual casting and all that. You want to be able to just get to that next spell once you've cast your first one, right? So that's why I kind of changed that placement there. And then here we have the expanded hotbar. A lot of it is just abilities and utilizing that gauge. And then nothing back here of note. And then we'll go ahead. I think I forgot to. It's actually very similar, by the way. My caster reference bar up here. And then got to do it for Red Mage, so let's do it again. Lucid, Surecast, Addle. I think that's the same for all three. Swiftcast, Embolden, Magnification. And then lastly, we have Summoner. Traditionally, an extremely messy job to get everything on my hotbar, but this time actually not so bad. It's actually everything fit quite nicely on Summoner. In fact, I actually had a lot of extra space on Summoner. So yeah, having everything consolidated, having all the pet actions consolidated into just 2 buttons, really helpful, by the way. Fantastic change. I don't know why they didn't do that earlier, honestly. Alright, and then looks like the right side is exactly the same for this job, but we'll go ahead and show it anyway. Hotbar 3, I do have my summons and some pet actions on this hotbar. And then here are expanded controls. And there we have it. I already hovered over everything at the start. Those are the hotbars, updated hotbars for Shadowbringers. Lots of people have been asking for that, so there you go. It's done, finally. Now I have to get this rendering and also need to get all the timestamps put together So yeah, I'll probably be up probably tomorrow evening, honestly, because I'm not gonna have time to kind of put up all those to edit the description and everything with all those timestamps in the morning. So yeah, so finally be out. We got it out before Eden Savage at least. But yeah, a lot of videos I need to get caught up on. So thank you all for being patient during this kind of busy time for me personally in my life. Hopefully things are going to settle down a bit so I can have more free time to kind of put into making content and playing the game more. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But thank you all for watching. I'm very humbled that you guys wanted to see my hotbar setup so much. And important thing to note, kind of at the end here, obviously don't feel like you have to copy my hotbars. It's always preferable that you just make it so that it's whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Whatever's going to feel the most comfortable for you is always going to be best. So if you just wanted, I'd prefer if you just use these for reference. If you like exactly the exact placement of everything and you just want to use exactly what I have, sweet, go for it. But if there's something that you feel like just you don't like how where something's put, feel free to change things around so that it's comfortable for you. And yeah, this game's completely playable with the controller. I know some people think that playing with a controller is going to be very difficult. Trust me, it is completely doable. I've been doing it this entire time, over 6 years, and yeah, it's totally doable on every job. Don't feel like playing with a controller is going to be impossible if you're somehow think that playing on a controller is going to be more difficult than playing with a normal keyboard and mouse. It's totally fine. It's all about what you're most comfortable with. If you asked me to play with a keyboard and mouse, I would probably die. So that's the honest truth. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out if you are looking forward to this. And I'll see you guys in another video, whichever that will be probably going to work on talking about range DPS next time. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys then. Sayonara. Bye bye.